Hey everybody, Jeff here and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to show you how to repair damaged subfloors, because you have to fix these subfloors before you can install tile flooring, or if you're installing laminate flooring or wood flooring, that sort of thing. We're going to show you how we repaired 3 different flooring areas: in the living room up against the sliding glass doors area, and also in the foyer, and also in the totally botched up bathroom floor area that had to be all repaired and leveled up before we could apply any tile first. So this was a foreclosure condo that we got to flip, and when we pulled up the carpeting by the living room sliding glass doors, that's when we found all of this massive damage here to the subfloor. And if you're wondering what this inch thick cement is here over the wood flooring, what they did was the builder poured about a 1 inch thick self-leveling compound to give you a nice even floor to install their carpet and linoleum on. Somewhere along the line, though, the builder did something stupid here. I don't know if what they were trying to accomplish over those wood planks there, but you can see this all has to be repaired and leveled up. And you can't just pour the self-leveler in there to fill up that gap. I prefer to do concrete first to fill up the holes, and then we'll pour the self-leveler on top. Now over here in this area by the sliding glass door, you can see we've removed all of the rock chunks that were there, and we put in some patch concrete. And then once this dries, tomorrow we're going to come in with some self-leveling compound. It's like a very watery type concrete, and you just mix it up real quick, and you have about 2 or 3 minutes to work with it. You dump it out, you spill it out, and it sort of self-levels, kind of like honey. It's about the consistency of honey or so. And it will level itself out, and you just kind of trowel it flat on the edges, feather it out a little bit, and it will look like a lake of water for a couple of hours until it dries, and then it will be solid, and this will look nice and perfect and flat now. We had done some patching of the 1 inch deep holes that were here, and today we grounded it down a little bit, and we're just going to pour some self-level in to fill in these valleys over here. Okay, so in order to figure out just how high we want the self-leveling compound to go, we have our spirit level right here like this, and we push it right up to the sliding glass door, and that way we know how much it's got to pour. So we're going to lay a strip of tape going across the door here, and that will guide us as to where we need to make the level of the cement when we pour it in there, and it will flow into a perfect level. Okay, so I'm just going to spoon out, because it's a small area that we're starting in. So I'm just going to spoon some of this stuff out here and pour it right into the areas. And it should come up to about where my lines are. Like this. And it'll sort of just conform to the area there. Pour a little more right over here. So you see how it just sort of finds its own level there? And we're going to trowel it into place. We're just going to coax it around a bit in a minute. But right now I just want to get the product in position. We're going to fill in that hole there. Now we're going to dump the rest down. These are a little bit bigger areas that we're pretty confident we can pour. We want to make sure that we come up to the level of the tape as we pour it in there. Just have to be slow, patient, take your time. Make sure you're controlling where it's all going. And you've only got about a 10-minute working time. 10-15 minutes. So now I'm going to come in here with my trowel and just kind of coax it into these little nooks and crannies, these border lines that I drew here. Just kind of drag it along the top, and it will re-level. It'll find its new level again after you do that. And any amount that's overage, we can just sand it down real quick later, because it's not going to be a perfect lineup. Yeah. Just try to feather it down into my border lines that I made. You might recall we've told you in our other tiling videos is that the flatness of your floor should be no more than a difference of 1/8 of an inch across 6 feet. And you are allowed to go about 1/4 of an inch variance over 10 feet in length. And this is all specified by the ANSI standards and the Tile Council of North America to have pretty flat subfloors for tiling or installing wood floors. Now, if you really want the entire floor to come out 100% perfect, you'll have to spend the big bucks and buy God knows how many bags and mix it up and just dump out on the entire living room floor. But there was really no need to do that, because any little lumpy spots, we were able to just grind it down somewhat flat, and then you begin to install your flooring. Sometimes we will pour an entire room. Sometimes we'll pour an entire small bathroom, and sometimes we'll just level off one small section of the bathroom. This is the area by the front door that is severely out of level. It's about a ½ inch or so out of level. So if you look here at my 6-foot level, and you can see it's nice and level on this side, but when you get down to the other end there, it's almost a ½ inch off the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to level it off. And this part over here is level, but you can see it starts to drop off right around here. So we've drawn this border line here that sort of follows the contours of the floor. And we know that we're going to have to pour the self-leveling mixture right up to these lines here and then feather them out nice and flat. We might even sand it down a little bit, depending on how it looks. But you can see how right there is where it starts to fall. So that's where we're going to pour up to. So once we poured the self-leveler here in the foyer, it was pretty easy to just spread it out right up to the lines that we drew. So now instead of having like a beach entry sloping down into the foyer like we had before, now it's all level with the living room floor. So now we can begin to install the wood flooring. Here you can see we began to install the laminate flooring throughout the living room and throughout the foyer area. And the install went perfect. There was no creaks afterwards because, you know, the floor was already pretty level from the pour of self-leveler compound that the builder had poured down. The only issues were the ones that we repaired over by the sliding glass door. So we filled all of those in, and we filled in the foyer and made those floors nice and flat to match the living room floor. So it was a seamless install of laminate flooring with no creaks at all. And believe me, if there was problems with the floor level, you would have creaks. Now, in this third location here in the guest bathroom, we had pulled up a few layers of linoleum that had been put down over the years, but the floor in here was just horrendous. We had heard from other people in the building that when the builder built this complex back in 1988, this was one of the last buildings, and they almost ran out of money, and they started to cut a lot of corners and do things really really shoddy in here. Okay, so this happens quite frequently around toilet flanges where you'll get a slope in the floor. So if you look here, our bubble here is showing that we're not level. In fact, if you push down straight over here, you'll see there's a huge 1/4 inch gap. By the time you get from here, not even 18 inches away, over to the bathtub, you can see you're off at least 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8. So we're going to have to pour down some self-leveling, plus we have this little hole back in the corner here. And it really affects only just this area here. The closer we get towards the middle of the tub, the problem is less. So we're just going to do this general area right here. We're going to pour self-level down. Okay, so we have our self-leveler here, and we're going to pour it into just this area here. It's going to flow down and fill in this hole, and you can see we've caulked along here. We've dammed it up so that it doesn't try to escape under the bathtub. And we're just going to level this up to the point that it reaches about 1/4 inch up here, and then we're going to trowel it and feather it flat over here. So here we go. So you can see the self-leveling cement here is just going to flow down. It's going to find its own little level there, and we're going to go ahead and start troweling it into place. Going to coax it along there into the corner, make sure it flows in there. Now we mix this batch a little bit on the thick side because we want it to dry a lot quicker. And here you just sort of trowel it right here nice and smooth to meet up with that high point. We're going to pour a little bit more back in the corner. And a little bit more over here until it all levels up. And you'll see it fills in all the little voids there. Okay, so once the bathroom floor was leveled, we just started like gangbusters, and we put down our 1/4 inch cork underlayment, and then you can see here we started to lay down and install our large 21 inch travertine tiles. These are natural stones, and these went in beautifully because the floor in there was just so flat afterwards. And you can see how we used our tile leveling system, and the entire floor here just came out so perfectly flat up on top of the tiles there, where it really matters there. Nice, perfectly flat surface. I hope you're finding this video useful so far, and I just wanted to remind you that here on our videos tab, if you look, we have different playlists that show many of our videos that we've uploaded in the past in all areas of remodeling here. Like, for example, here you can see we've done all sorts of kitchen cabinet installs. We also have here bathroom remodeling videos for you to check out. We have flooring videos and other types of videos in different categories, and repairs around your house and plumbing disasters. So make sure you check these out as well. And if you like this video so far, if you found this informational, hey, would you do us a favor and give us a thumbs up down below? That tells us that you like us. And man, look, if you're not subscribed to us, look at all of these different videos that we put up for you all the time, and lots of great videos on remodeling your homes and your kitchens and your bathrooms and tiling and engineering disasters like we showed you here the other day with this plumbing fail. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, that you click on that subscribe button and click the little gray bell icon next to it. That will tell YouTube to alert you whenever we upload a new video. Well, that's it for this one, folks. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.